Your brain has a self-destruct timer built into it. And right now, without even knowing it, you're pressing it every single day. Most people think low performance comes from laziness, bad habits, weak willpower. They're wrong. And honestly, that's not even the scary part. The scary part is that the harder you try to fix it, the worse you're making it. You're essentially throwing water on a grease fire and wondering why it's spreading. There's a specific process happening inside your brain right now while you study, work, or try to focus. And if you don't understand it, every effort you make will eventually collapse on itself. Not because you're not trying hard enough, because you're working against your own brain's operating system. By the end of this video, you're going to understand a brain mechanism that most people, including highly educated people, have never heard of. And once you see it, you genuinely cannot unsee it. But first, let me show you something strange. By the way, if this is the kind of content you've been looking for, just hit subscribe real quick. We drop new brain science every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Okay, quick question. Have you ever sat down to study or work, felt completely fine, and then 20 minutes later realized your brain had quietly left the building? Like, you're physically there, your eyes are open, your notes are in front of you, but mentally, gone. Somewhere between what you were supposed to be doing and a random thought about what you ate 3 days ago. That's not laziness, that's not weakness. That's actually your brain doing something very specific and very predictable. Here's what's happening. Your brain has a region called the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as your brain's CEO. It handles focus, decisions, staying on task. When it's working well, you feel sharp, locked in control. But, and this is the part nobody tells you, this CEO runs on a limited energy supply. It doesn't have infinite fuel. Every time you push it to focus without a proper break, it silently starts rationing, cutting corners, running on emergency mode. Scientists call this cognitive depletion. Simple version, your brain's CEO gets tired. And when the CEO gets tired, the whole company starts falling apart. Quietly, gradually, without sending you a memo. The dangerous part, you often don't feel it happening. You think you're still working, but the quality of your thinking has already dropped by 30, 40, sometimes 50%. You're sitting at your desk, but your brain clocked out an hour ago, now. When most people notice their focus fading, what do? They push harder. Another coffee. Just 10 more minutes. Eyes wide open, jaw clenched, absolutely refusing to take a break. Which is basically the equivalent of your phone battery hitting 5% and you deciding to run 10 more apps. Yeah, that's not going to end well. Here's what a 2016 study from the University of Illinois actually found. People who attempted long, uninterrupted focus sessions showed a sharp, measurable drop in performance over time. Meanwhile, the group that took short strategic breaks, they maintained near peak output the entire time. But here's the part that should genuinely concern you. The push-through group didn't just perform worse that day. When they came back the next morning, fresh, rested, coffee in hand, their ability to enter deep focus was measurably lower than the day before. Read that again. You weren't just draining today's performance, you were quietly borrowing from tomorrow. Except tomorrow doesn't come with a return policy. It's like maxing out a credit card, except instead of money, it's your brain. And trust me, the interest rates are brutal. Okay, here's where things get genuinely fascinating. And I mean genuinely fascinating. Not fascinating the way your teacher says it right before they put you to sleep. Your brain doesn't just need breaks, it needs a specific kind of rest that almost nobody gives it. Scientists discovered a system inside your brain called the default mode network. Now, before your eyes glaze over, here's the simplest possible way to understand this. Think of your brain like a busy restaurant kitchen. When you're focused and working, the chefs are on the floor, chopping, cooking, running around, taking orders, loud, active, controlled chaos. But the moment the kitchen closes, the night crew shows up. They clean everything, they organize. They take all the chaotic mess from the day, sort through it, figure out what to keep. and prepare the whole kitchen for tomorrow. Your brain's default mode network is the night crew. It activates specifically when you stop forcing focus, when you let your mind go quiet, when you stop trying so hard, and that's when the magic happens. Your brain quietly starts connecting dots you couldn't reach while you were grinding. It solves problems. It files away information. It builds the bridges between ideas your conscious mind was too busy to notice. This is literally why your best ideas hit you in the shower. You're not doing anything important. You're just standing there, probably humming a song you don't even like, and suddenly the answer you spent 3 hours searching for just appears. That wasn't an accident. That was your brain's night crew finally getting the space to do its job. For decades, scientists assumed this part of the brain was dormant during rest, just waiting around, doing nothing. They were spectacularly wrong. If you're finding this genuinely useful, and I think you are, subscribe, seriously. This is the stuff that changes how you operate day to day, and we've got a lot more of it coming. Alright, theory is great, but does this actually hold up? Stanford said yes, loudly. A landmark study confirmed that students who spaced their learning with intentional quiet breaks showed 23% higher recall on assessments, compared to students who studied for the exact same total hours, without breaks. Same time, same subject, different results, just because of how they rested. But here's the detail that changes everything. And almost nobody mentions this. The break has to be genuinely quiet. Checking your phone doesn't count. Scrolling doesn't count. Watching short videos definitely doesn't count. Why? Because those activities keep your brain's CEO, the prefrontal cortex, just busy enough that it never actually switches off. It's like trying to let the night crew clean the kitchen while you're still walking around in it, moving things, making noise. The night crew can't work. Nothing gets cleaned, and tomorrow's service is a disaster. Your brain thought it rested. Your phone lied to it. Okay, enough with the science horror stories. Let's fix this. Here is the exact 3-phase protocol, explained simply enough that there is genuinely no excuse not to try it today. Phase 1. The 25-minute focus block. Work in 25-minute blocks. One task, no switching, no notifications. No, just a quick check. I know, 25 minutes sounds almost offensively short, right? Here's why it works at a brain level. Your brain builds something called a flow gradient during focused work. Think of it like a car engine on a cold winter morning. The first few minutes are rough, a little sluggish, but the longer you keep driving without stopping, the more efficient and smooth everything gets. The problem, most people stop and restart the engine every 4 minutes. Every notification, every tab switch, every let me just check one thing. You spend all your energy starting and never actually going anywhere. 25 minutes is the sweet spot. Long enough to actually go deep, short enough that your CEO doesn't hit the wall. Phase 2, the real recovery window. After every 25-minute block, 5 minutes of genuine quiet rest. No phone, no screen, no podcast. Just nothing. Look out a window, close your eyes, breathe. I know, sounds almost unbearably boring in 2024, but here's what's actually happening in those 5 minutes. Your night crew, the default mode network, just got its window. It's filing away what you just learned, making connections, solving the problems your conscious brain was too busy to crack. You are not doing nothing. You are doing the most productive thing possible at that moment. Think of it like cooking a steak. You put in all the work, the heat, the effort, the timing, but then you have to let it rest before you cut into it. Skip that step, everything falls apart on the plate. 5 minutes of real quiet rest is your brain resting the steak. Don't skip it. Phase 3, sleep as the master processor. This is the one people sacrifice first, and it is, without question, the most expensive mistake they make. While you sleep, your brain runs a process called synaptic homeostasis. Simple version, imagine your brain as a library. All day you've been throwing books onto shelves, quickly, randomly, just getting through the day. Some are in the right place, most are in piles on the floor. Sleep is when the librarian shows up, They organize everything, put the important books in the right place, throw away what doesn't need to be there, and prepare the entire library so that tomorrow morning, when you need something, it's actually findable. That's synaptic homeostasis, your brain's nightly librarian. Now here's the part that should genuinely change your behavior. The information you studied today, it's not locked into memory yet. Not during studying. It locks in during sleep, when the librarian does the work. Staying up late to study more is like filling the library all day and then setting it on fire at night. You'll need to fill it again tomorrow and the night after that. The students who consistently outperform aren't always the ones who study the most hours. They're the ones whose librarian shows up every night, fully scheduled, properly rested, given enough time to do the job right. Here's what this looks like after 30 days. Your brain's CEO stops running on emergency fuel. Your focus window expands, not because you forced it, but because you stopped constantly draining it. Your night crew gets regular shifts. Ideas connect faster. Problems that used to take hours start solving themselves during your 5-minute breaks. Your librarian shows up every night. Information sticks. Recall becomes faster. Learning starts to feel less like pushing a boulder uphill and more like rolling downhill, picking up speed. You don't have to be a different person to get here. You don't need more willpower, more motivation, more hustle. You just need to stop accidentally working against the system your brain already has and start working with it. Most people spend years fighting their own biology. You now have a blueprint most people will never see. That gap between the people who understand this and the people who don't is exactly where real performance lives, and you're now on the right side of it. If this video shifted something in how you think, even just one thing, subscribe. That's genuinely all it takes to keep content like this coming to you. And share it with one person who needs to hear this. Not for the algorithm, because this is the kind of thing most people go years without knowing.